am going to read the eulogy given by the first Prime Minister of India on February the 2nd, 1948, on the death of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was one of the historical figures my grandpa most admired. He has gone, and all over India there is a sense of having been left desolate and forlorn. All of us sense that feeling, and I do not know when we shall be able to get rid of us. And yet, together with that feeling, there is also a feeling of proud thankfulness that has been given to us of this generation to be associated with this mighty person. In ages to come, centuries and maybe millennia after us, people will think of this generation when this man of God trod on earth, and will think of us who, however small, could also follow his path and tread the holy ground where his feet had been. Let us be worthy of him.
When I was young, he did not teach me how to walk by holding my hand. However, he was the reason for the light in my life now. Despite not being a blood relative, Mr. JBJ is part of my family, and we mingled as one. Compared to others, I'm considered to be a lucky star. Till this day, my parents never gave me the reason to feel neglected. Furthermore, Mr. JBJ was the added bonus to my good fortune. In the past, when Mrs. JBJ was taken ill, my mom cared for her during a time of illness. Since the couple was daughterless, Mr. JBJ regarded my mom as his own kid. From my naming ceremony throughout my puberty till I was an adult, Mr. JBJ came in person to offer his blessings. Whenever he comes over to my home, he always requests fish curry, which is his favorite, prepared by my mom. He has always had a dream that I should pursue my education in London, and I have the opportunity to give him the satisfaction of being accepted into the University of London, London School of Economics, where I'm pursuing my honours in business. After each major exam, Mr. JBJ always made it a point to liaise with me over the phone to inquire how I fared for exams. During my summer vacation, when I was a journalist for 3 months at the local Tamil newspaper, Tamil Murusum, he was extremely proud and encouraged me to go on with my goals. When I met him last, which was at his reformed party, he inquired about my nuptials. To which I answered that I still have my studies left to concentrate on, and marriage is not on my agenda at this moment. After hearing this, Mr. JBJ said that he would love to come and give his blessings, but unsure if he will be around then to do so. And just like he said, he's not around today. Nevertheless, he has taught me how to tolerate, endure, and to always care for others. These lessons of life are something that will never leave me, and I'm extremely grateful that Mr. JBJ had imparted his wisdom to me, and more of which will ever leave me. Thank you.
Good evening. Desmond Tutu said, "You don't choose your family. They are God's gift to you, as you are to them." But very often, in the organized chaos of normally dysfunctional family life, we forget that. We forget that despite all the differences of opinions and differences of personality, the arguments, the incessant irritations, the "good grief, can you believe they're doing that" sort of issues, family and all it encompasses is indeed a gift. In the Joshua family tree, I represent the Samuel Mahadevan branch. Our late father was the eldest of 4 siblings, 2 other sisters and Mr. JBJ. To my brothers and I, he was Chinnapapa, Chittappa, and Uncle Jaya. For some strange reason, the terminology kept changing, but the essence of the man remained the same. My earliest memories of Uncle Jaya, Auntie Margaret, Kenneth, and Philip were meetings at our grandparents' home for holidays and celebrations, for family events. But as we grew up and went our ways, distance and the busyness of life make reunions less frequent. But we knew what was happening in each other's lives, even if we were not physically present. To my brothers and I, to put it mildly, Uncle Jim was a colorful character. And if our lives are canvases that are colored by the encounters with people we come across in our lives, then certainly Uncle Jim provided a splash of color in ours by his presence, his wit and dry humor, and his sharp criticisms of what we sometimes did that displeased him. At one meal we had together, he ordered tripe. And when the dish arrived, and I was less than enthusiastic, he said, "Looks like you don't have the stomach for this." My kind of guy. It was Uncle Jim, who stood with my mother, brothers, and I, beside our father's bedside in his last moments, and with a gentle "let me do that," took over reading from my Bible when I was too choked up to read. And he visited regularly, provided strength and encouragement when we needed it, especially when our mother, late mother, was unwell and eventually at her demise. He was a presence there for us. He didn't have to do much. Just knowing he was there was enough for us. I can only hope in some small measure we brought some degree of strength and delight to his days as he did to ours. Where his politics and his aspirations were concerned, I sometimes didn't understand his resilience and his determination, but that did not dilute my respect and admiration for him. People take different roads, seeking fulfillment and happiness. Just because they're not on your road does not mean they've gotten lost. Uncle Jim, he took the road less traveled, and we all know what he had to bear and the price he had to pay. William Wordsworth said, "The best position, the best portion of a good man's life is the little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love." As far as Uncle Jim goes, unremembered? I think not. Remembered. Certainly remembered. And remembered and cherished with so much love. To my mind, the best the people who had the privilege of knowing and having Uncle Jim in our lives, the best we can do to honor his memory and celebrate his life is to stand up for what he stood for. Not walking past injustices, making a positive difference every day, so that all that he stood for continues in our lives, and that his life was not lived in vain. Uncle Jim, on behalf of David, Jelma, Robin, and myself, and our families, here's looking